So this section here, we're looking at areas of triangles. It's similar to Pythagorean theorem that I'm going to be asking you to first write the equation with all the letters and then go and put numbers in the equation and work through to your answer. If you do that, it's going to go way, 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 way better for you. So area of a triangle can be found using the equation. I'm going to put it in red for dramatic emphasis. Capital A for area, because lowercase a stands for acceleration, equals 1/2 times lowercase b times lowercase h. So I'd encourage you to get the capitals and lower cases correct, because that's going to help you for later on as you start getting more and more variables and constants showing up. Now, a very important thing is that when we're talking about the base, it has to be perpendicular to the height. So the base and the height have to be at like a 90-degree angle from each other. So what I mean by that is this. If this here is my base of the triangle, the height, how I measure how tall that thing is, has to be at a 90-degree angle to that direction of the base. So then the height, if you go up to this very top part and try to go like straight down at a perpendicular line to the base, the height is going to be that kind of dash thing there in green. Does that make sense? But that you have to, between the base direction and the height direction, you have to have a 90-degree angle there for base and height. Now you could go and do this a totally different way, and maybe I shouldn't get all off track about this, but if I would take and see if I can turn, bummer, I can't quite get that to go. But if you could kind of picture turning your head on its side, if I were to say this here was the base, then the height, do you agree it could be this here if I knew that was a 90-degree angle? So for some of the triangles, the book might give them to you with kind of like a weird angle, and you'll have to, kind of even turn your page or turn your book a little bit to see it. This next one, though, if we're going to say this here is the base, they have to kind of do something extra for this to get the height, because that base, you could say it keeps going. So I'm trying to do like a straight dash line out from the base. But then if this is the highest point, to measure that height, I have to go straight down perpendicular to the base again to get my height. So you can't say that the height is like this length here, because that's on an angle. It has to be at a 90-degree angle to the base. You okay for base and height? Cool. My wife wants me to paint, paint the peak of our house a different color. What's the area so I can determine how much paint I need? So kind of the dormer on my house, I'm going to say, is something like this. I have my 28 for the width across the bottom, 10 for my height. So first thing, because I'm going to show my work so my teacher could give me full credit, is to write capital A equals 1/2.
Times base times height.
Nice. Yep, 1/2 times base times height. And yeah. Because the first coat didn't cover over where we bought new siding, so I need to redo it. So, 28. 28 goes in for base or height?
Base.
Base. And perpendicular to that, at a 90-degree angle, that is my height of 10. So you could take your calculator. You guys are all good with the fraction key by now? So you could do your fraction key 1, fraction key 2, times 28 times 10 equals, and do it that way. Some people just do for 1/2, they do 0.5 times 28 times 10. And you should get, should be 140. So, but first examples. First example work for people? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, then if we jump to the next page. The next page is where showing your equation definitely is more helpful. That most people can get through those first ones without showing their work, but here things get a little bit more dicey. So find the height of a triangle. So we're not looking for the area, we're looking for the height. With an area of 54 and a base of 8. So if I were to do 1/2 times base times height, I spaced them out a little bit so I have room to put some numbers in there. Where do I put my 54?
Base. No, that's the height. No. Height. Wait, find the height of the triangle.
54 is the
area.
Nice. So 54 is my area, so it has to go in for letter
A.
A. So the 54 is over here. I found a lot of people in math, they take just the numbers. Oh, the equations multiply, so they just take and throw numbers in the equation. But look for where they go. It's an area of 54, and we're trying to find the height. So we're looking for h. And the base is 8, so do you agree we put an 8 in for b? And now if you just solve for a variable, so what could be a good first step to do? There's two options. One's going to be easier than others. The easiest is going to be to do 1/2 of 8 and change that to a 4. I'd recommend doing that step first. You could divide by 8, but this will typically serve people better, because now if I want to get h by itself, how do I get rid of that 4? What do I do to both sides?
Divide them. Oh.
Perfect. Yeah, because it's multiplication, we have to do the inverse, kind of the opposite of multiplying. So we're going to do 54 divided by 4, which is going to give us 13.5.
And that would equal h, right?
Yep. So this thing here, if we were to try to draw this triangle with a base of 8, it would have to be 13.5 high to give us that area of 54. Questions? So just quick final comment then. Just like with the Pythagorean theorem, I'm looking for you to write out your equation, put numbers in the equation, and then work through to get the answer. So please show your work so I can give you full credit.